But we begin with a fictional leader, a New Jersey mobster, suffering from a midlife crisis. On this date in 1999, the cable network HBO premiered a show which had been turned down by all of the networks. Many thought the show would flop. But the Sopranos turned out to be a game changer for HBO, becoming one of the most critically acclaimed series in broadcast history.
I don't even know why I come here. Nothing else to do with it.
Do you think it would help if you went someplace so you could rest up a while?
He's the troubled patriarch of an Italian-American family in New Jersey, a mob boss who needs continual visits to his therapist to help him cope with his family, his mistresses, and employees who work for his criminal organization. This is The Sopranos, widely regarded as one of the greatest series in TV history. It ran on HBO for 6 seasons, and during that time, it changed the way television approached long-form narratives by offering up complicated characters and story arcs which overlap from season to season.
The Sopranos was like watching a great movie at the pace of a novel. You weren't just getting the big hit moments that you get in a movie where everything you see on screen is driving toward one thing. You get time for things to unfold, time to veer off in little digressions that maybe enrich the story but aren't necessarily right on point. And I think The Sopranos did all of that very effectively through its run.
The show was created by David Chase, a veteran of network television dramas. He had written for 70s-era crime shows like The Rockford Files and became a showrunner for the acclaimed 90s series Northern Exposure. Chase worked in television, but he hated TV and always expressed a desire to work in the movies. So he originally wrote The Sopranos as a movie script, with characters modeled after real-life figures from Chase's own Italian-American upbringing in New Jersey. Chase wanted to feature a mob boss, but one who had the same problems as your average suburban middle-aged man.
People recognize in this family pieces of their own families or people they know, forgetting whether they're mobsters or not. The interaction between the father and his kids and his mother and his wife and all that, I think that's where the bedrock is.
The movie script was transformed into a pilot for a TV series, which every mainstream network turned down. So it ended up at HBO, which was branching out from its movies and live sports format to include original dramatic series. The Sopranos premiered on the cable network on January 10th, 1999. James Gandolfini was Tony Soprano. Edie Falco was his long-suffering wife, Carmela. Lorraine Bracco played his therapist, Dr. Melfi. And a host of talented New York actors portrayed Tony Soprano's crew. From Michael Imperioli as Christopher Moltisanti to Tony Sirico as Paulie Walnuts. Even musician Stephen Van Zandt, a member of Bruce Springsteen's E Street Band, was recruited for the show to play mobster Silvio Dante. The show became an instant success and was nominated for 16 Emmys in its first season, much to the surprise of its cast.
I was amazed at the response. I don't think any of us thought that many people would watch the show in the beginning. It was a bunch of lunatics from New Jersey, and apparently we hit some kind of chord.
As the show matured, the accolades continued, and the characters became richer and deeper.
A lot of times on TV, character kind of does the same thing for the life of the show. On our show, you actually move through time. I mean, my character, his relationship with Tony when we first started was almost like a teenage son and his father. And now it's, that age gap is kind of closed between them.
Tony Soprano in particular became a character unlike any other on television. He was someone who remained sympathetic, although he killed people, even bumping off a rival while taking his daughter on college visits during an episode in the show's first season.
I think out of anything, it kind of has given people a bit more wider latitude as far as what they'll accept, and what they find compelling, you know. They don't have to just be lulled into, oh, I like this guy, you know, the good guys always win.
The last Sopranos episode aired on June 10th, 2007. And the final scene of the last episode became an instant classic, fraught with tension and ambiguity, as viewers tried to determine whether or not Tony Soprano was finally going to get murdered while meeting his family for dinner. A question which was never answered. The Sopranos was a major ratings success for HBO, and it remains one of the most critically acclaimed shows in TV history, winning 21 Emmys and 2 Peabody Awards, a fact that thrills the show's creator, David Chase, who saw The Sopranos as a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity.
TV Guide called it one of the, I think we were in the top 5 of shows in television history. HBO, you know, I was really lucky, and all of us would say that to you in a minute. And we got a great opportunity from those people, and I think we made the best of it, but I think we did right by them too, but they gave us a great opportunity, and I don't think I should try to top that.
It's hard to describe how pervasive The Sopranos show was. During the 8 years it was on the air, it seemed to be the only thing anyone was watching. I was doing a few crime shows of my own and didn't know that the writers of The Sopranos watched them to pick up the language used by hoodlums and maybe some real-life scenarios. I was lying in bed for one episode, watching Tony in a therapy session with psychiatrist Dr. Melfi. He asked her if she had seen the news on television about a gangland killing. She said, no, I get all my information from Bill Curtis and the movies. Well, the television suddenly came alive, reaching across the bed to pull me into the world of The Sopranos. Why? I never found out. But the phone started to ring and didn't stop all night. Maybe the best measure possible of the power of that mixed-up crime family in New Jersey.